Okay, I think we're live streaming now, so I'm going to call the meeting back to order. Our next part of the meeting is the confirmation of the minutes. We have the council and committee meeting minutes of March 10th, 2020. The recommendation is that the council and committee meeting minutes for March 10th, 2020 be approved as presented. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Wilson. Are there any errors or omissions on these minutes?
No.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything, so all those in favor? And that's carried. Next are the special council meeting minutes of March 17th, 2020. The recommendation is that the special council meeting minutes for March 17th, 2020 be approved as presented. Can I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Joulis, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Are there any errors or omissions on these minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. If it seems to take a little bit of a delay, gentlemen, it's because for some reason Councillor Joulis is just a few seconds behind. And he's putting his hand up, but it's just taking a few extra seconds. So I just wanted to make that.
How about two hands?
No, you're doing fine. It just, I have a little delay on you.
Just a delay.
Just a slight.
Just a delay.
That sounds
Okay.
better than a few seconds behind.
Well, it's not his fault. It's just his internet, obviously. Okay.
I could say something, but I'm not going to.
Nope. Hey, Roma's saying things about internet to the government all the time. Okay, our next set of minutes are the regular council meeting minutes of March 17th, 2020. And the recommendation is that the regular council meeting minutes for March 17th, 2020 be approved as presented. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Are there any errors or omissions on these minutes? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, which one did I do? Did I just do special council meeting? I think I did, didn't I? I lost my place.
You've done 3.
I've done 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4. Special council meeting minutes of April 7th, 2020. The recommendation is that the special council meeting minutes for April 7th, 2020 be approved as presented, and I need a mover. Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Joulis. Any errors or omissions on these minutes? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. And the final set are the special council meeting minutes of April 15th, 2020, and I do believe council received those by email. Now, I'm going to ask that the recommendation be that the special council meeting minutes for April 14th, 2020 be approved as amended. And I just have a couple of simple amendments I want to discuss. So before I get a mover and a seconder, when staff, and I mentioned this to Gwen, when staff did the minutes of April 7th, it was clearly noted that this was an electronic meeting, and I think it's a very good thing to ensure for posterity that when we're doing an electronic meeting like this, that's so noted in the minutes. It also completes the process for our procedural bylaw because it is identified that statement I'm reading needs to be read, so this would be captured. So, Council, what I'm suggesting is that when you look at the April 7th minutes, after the call to order, Gwen has put in that Mayor Love advised the following. At this time, I'd like to remind council and municipal staff that this meeting is being live streamed to the public. And you know the statement I read at the beginning? She's actually put it in the minutes. And then it noted that the electronic meeting was called to order at a certain time. So I'm going to suggest that we make that amendment going forward to any minutes that are electronic, because a couple of years from now, if somebody's looking back, they may want to know that. Does anybody have a concern with that?
No.
That sound good? Okay. The only other thing in these minutes is a couple pages in under Parks and Recreation at the very bottom of the 3rd page. If we could change "and large gathering groupings due to COVID-19" to "and large gatherings are not allowed due to COVID-19. This was in reference to Canada Day. So I just wanted it to be clear why we were discussing that. Is everyone good with that amendment?
Yep.
Problems. So as I said, the recommendation is that the special council meeting minutes for April 14th, 2020 be approved as amended. Do I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Any further errors, omissions, or amendments?
No.
All those in favor? And that's carried. Great. So under business arising out of the minutes, is there any, first, does council have any business arising out of the minutes? Not seeing any. So 6.1 is the 2020 draft budget review report. And Amanda, did you want to speak to this? I have to find it while you're speaking.
Sure, I can. So essentially, I just wanted to sum up, my report just sums up any sort of discussions or changes that occurred during the draft budget review. At which time, during the meeting of April 14th, I did question council if they were pleased with the 2.2% levy of $3,997,248. I did not receive any feedback negatively. So that being said, the only change financially to the budget was a request for increasing the brushing and ditching line in order for us to be able to address some issues on Trepesky Mill Drive. Within my report here, I'm proposing that the money from that just be drawn from, we can draw it from construction reserve in order to remain at the 3.9 million levy. And so in order to proceed with getting everything ready for budget tax rates, I would like to ask council if they are prepared to approve the budget that was presented before them at the previous meeting, or if there are any further questions.
Okay. Councillor Bromwich.
Yeah, through you, Chair. I think the sooner the better we get this approved, the better off we're going to be. It's kind of time sensitive right now. There's an awful lot of construction that we have to issue requests for quotations on and sign contracts. I think we should get this on the books pretty darn quickly, and I'd like to see it approved as soon as possible. And I don't have any options other than what you suggest. A 2.2 levy seems to be within reason. As I mentioned the last meeting, it aligns itself with what we've been doing for the last few years. I think people have sort of gotten used to that type of increase that kind of coincides with GTP, and I'm all in favor of it personally. Thank you.
Okay, did anyone else want to speak to this?
I will speak.
Councillor Wilmer?
Yeah, I too am in favor. I think we've had, it seems to have taken a fair length of time just because of the situation we're in, but we have discussed it over this, well, 2 previous meetings and more. And I'm happy that we can get down to 2.2%. I think that's realistic in that it allows for projects that are needed to be done. And also, I think is being very responsible with the municipal purse. So I think we've talked about it enough, and I'm prepared to approve it as is. Thank you.
Thank you. I might as well ask Councillor Schulist.
Yes, to you, Madam Mayor. Absolutely. We had some great discussions and a lot of the matters, and I think it's time now to take this on to the next step. And I'm definitely going to be supporting this 2.2 increase. I think it's very reasonable. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And for the public's information, this was a revised budget after staff reviewed the entire budget based on what is anticipated to be reduced revenues due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And they've basically honed this as best as they can to match our ability to continue as a municipality, with our approach being fairly prudent in terms of the impacts that we are going to be facing in terms of revenue losses. So I think staff did a great job. Thank you so much, Amanda. Sue, did you have a resolution you wanted to read?
I do, through the chair, that council approve the Township of Madawaska Valley 2020 operating and capital general budget with a tax levy request of $3,997,248.
$3,997,000.
Oh, yes. 248, yes.
Okay, all right. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Let's keep going. Do we have, oh yes, okay, I see Stephanie. Next, we have a committee report about a highway banner, and I don't know who wants to speak to this. Oh, there she is. She moved. Hi, Stephanie. Did you want to speak to this? We need you on, there we go.
Sure. So we've gotten a few examples back, and they're just drafts, so they can be changed. We had went with two different slogans that we've used in the past, I guess, to say. So eat, stay, play, or enjoy the beauty your way. So I'm just looking for a little bit of council opinion, thought, and we do have I would say a preliminary price basing on whether or not costs will go up or down, and suppliers that are able to provide the banner. So the banner, if we choose a white banner, will be between 1,000 and 1,500. If we choose a darker colored banner, the cost will probably go up over 1,500. So I just wanted to give council the background and then let the decision be made from there.
Okay. So Stephanie, you sent in an email for new ones. You had sent
Yes,
three with the report, and you sent 4 others.
that's
And
right.
ones are using the lure line that was used on the signage that went out a few years ago. The
Correct.
Enjoy Your Way. I don't know if council received those. Have you had a chance to have a look at them? Oh, somebody's going to put them up.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Oh,
What happened?
cool.
There we go.
I just put it up.
Very
Fantastic.
cool.
I wasn't expecting that to happen.
So the clerk suggested, or sorry, the deputy clerk suggested the additional wordage on this banner. So we changed the wordage and just updated the drawing. So by all means, let me know what you think, and we can go from there.
Okay, Councillor Bromwich, I think you have your hand up.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. Number 4, enjoy the beauty your way, blue one, the new one that you just added. That kind of hits home. It's only a quick couple second read. I don't think we should be putting addresses and stuff in like MadawaskaValley.ca. People are driving along and you just glance up one time and see, enjoy the beauty your way. That's just my take on it. Number 4. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the top one that we're looking at on these 4, correct? Okay. So Stephanie, you did mention that one might be a little bit more expensive because of the dark blue.
I did, and the designer Matt also mentioned that the darker color he wasn't 100% sure of. He did say that maybe the white would be easier to read as you're driving under. His suggestion, I'm not.
Mhm. Okay, anyone else want to weigh in? Councillor Schulist.
Yes, you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I think the ones that I see here are the top 2, one with the dark background and then the light. I do like that for sure. I like the message here, which is enjoy the beauty, and then your way. And it really goes good with our logo, which I just love. It shows a lot of activities what Madawaska Valley is all about, and definitely projects beauty, but also you can do it your own way. Because we've got things like fishing to snowmobiling to skiing to whatever, and I think you know, either way, white background or blue background, I'm fine with that. If it's cheaper to go with white, the message is still there. I'm fine with that. Thank you.
Okay. And Counselor Wilmer?
Yeah, I prefer these ones, the ones we're seeing today for the first time. I do have a little bit of a concern, and I think it was the same concerns that the deputy clerk was sharing, just with the amount of wording and the different slogans we have. I'm glad to see this because I had sort of written in my notes that, you know, we have come for a visit, stay for a lifetime, enjoy the beauty your way. I don't know, there may even be others, but I know we were looking at doing a marketing or branding exercise or project at some point. I don't know whether that's still up in the air, but to get this up now, I think is important. And I do prefer I think both the other two councillors have said with the enjoy the beauty your way going upwards. I think the one with the madawaskavalley.ca is too cluttered. With the designer indicating the white might show up better, I can see that, and so that is a concern. I do personally like the blue better, but if there are concerns about whether it will be visible, I could go with either color. But I think you know, this is a really good thing to put up, and again, for the public watching, this is something that is going to be up between events, and I think it's very welcoming. And yeah, as I said, my only concern is really that we seem to have a number of different taglines, and I know this one is on the round crest, and it's also on the old signs, the old wooden signs, but we do have the other one too on some things. So anyway, I like the new ones. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, I don't know who took them down, but could they go back up for a second? I'm sorry, I don't know who put them up.
I put them
Mhm.
up.
Okay, if you wouldn't mind, Sue, would you put them back up for a second?
I'll have to find it again. Just bear with me. Sorry, I just had it. I had it on the side to put up, so I might not be able to find it. Do you have that email again, Stephanie?
Kim, can I just ask, just with the dark blue banner, if we went with a dark background, I'd be worried about it fading and then the letters fading, the white letters fading in. So if we
Yes.
went with white, the dark blue might stand out a little bit more. I know the blue, I like the dark blue better myself. It looks classier,
Good.
but I think it would fade faster.
Okay, so I wanted them back up because I wanted to speak to the top too.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Weren't
get them back
exactly
up.
the
Sorry.
same, and that's why. So I
Yeah, I
mean,
noticed they weren't exactly the same, and I think I like the way the letters were on the blue one. So if we can
Yes.
change the blue one to look like the white one, then I think
Which-
that might be the.
that's basically what I was going to suggest. Also on the blue one, the madawaskavalley.ca, underneath the logo was a lot smaller, and so the logo stood out. So I mean, that's why I wanted to see them, just to suggest actually,
I don't know
in
how to.
fact, if we could do the blue one in terms of the layout, but with the coloring of the white one,
Correct.
so that it would have a little more longevity and
Sorry, I
stand.
can't bring it back up.
So
I agree.
I don't know. So
While
we
we're-
back. Amanda?
Just while we're waiting for the picture to come up, Gwen, do we know how we came about like that slogan? Because like in my email, I still have come for a visit, stay for a lifetime. Like, are we looking at doing a marketing communications plan in the future?
So this
or-
happened about 5 years ago from what I could gather, and it was based on, I think I sent an email out with this, and it was based on that we had people come for a visit, they stayed for a lifetime, now we want them to play here, play, and that went with their Madawaska Valley logo with all the characters across the top with them skiing, snowmobiling, fishing, and it went from there was, now that we've got you here, play the way that you want to play. So I think that's how that had come about.
Did that work?
No,
You just got to click on the actual drawing.
It's almost there.
Yeah, I didn't take it down, so I'm not sure. It's not letting me pull it back up. When does it still give me the sharing capability?
yeah, it does. I can try on mine. You want?
Someone, because I think this will take a few seconds if we could actually see it.
It's telling me I can't share. So you're gonna have to share.
There
There.
it is.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
So what I was going to suggest to council was, I understand the attractiveness of the blue one. The very top one has a really nice layout. The lettering of madawaskavalley.ca is small compared to the logo, whereas the second one down is much bigger. So if we were to lay it out the same as the top one, but then just do the coloring the same as the second one, would that sort of be the best of both worlds? Would everyone be able to go along with that? Okay, I see Council Brown, which has a thumbs up. Anyone else?
I'm good.
I agree. I
Mark's good with
agree.
it? Oh, and okay, so council would be good with that. Sue,
I just want to make another comment, and it was a response that was received, was the Barry's Bay, Combermere, and Wilno on this particular banner, because it's being placed in Combermere. Is it better to just have Madawaska Valley enjoy the beauty your way? And once we get into our branding, and maybe you want this same sign in Combermere and have Combermere the top one there, or just wanted to bring it up for discussion because you've already passed Wilno and or Combermere depending when you're coming through. So it's up to council. Just wanted to have that as a point of discussion.
I don't know.
Sue?
I think if we try to change it for each and every possible location, that might get expensive, who knows? I mean, it's just, I think they're just listed alphabetically.
Yeah.
Thought about it much, but Councillor Schulist?
Yeah, Madam Mayor. But this, we're just talking about this one banner that's going in Barry's Bay. It's not about
Yeah.
signage outside, right? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just want
and-
to have something there because it's sitting empty, and it will sit empty for a few months because we have no events. And it would be nice when when the Public Works takes them down in the future, we have something to put up right away in case there's nothing happening for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said I don't think we have to change anything. What we see in front of us, it's a perfect, for, a banner to put up there. The one thing about, come for a visit, stay for a lifetime, this is about an invitation, right? This enjoy the beauty your way. It's about, they're already there. We want them to encourage them to enjoy themselves in the Madawaska Valley, of course, their way. Thought I put my 2 cents in that one.
Okay, Councillor Wilmer.
Yeah, just going back to Sue's point, I think we can leave it the same. To me, I look at the listing of Barry's Bay, Combermere, and Wilno as a good thing. I think it's for somebody driving in, they may not be aware, or most likely aren't aware, that we have the 3 different communities or hubs in Madawaska. So I think it's a good thing that it sort of defines some of the area or the expanse of Madawaska Valley. So I would leave it just the way it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think the only reason why they're listed that way is it's literally alphabetical.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Is the layout of the top one what we want to see?
Yeah.
Sorry, Gwen, I didn't see your hand. There we go, Gwen.
That's all right. The signs that we've put up, the highway signs outside of each community, the Barry's Bay, Combermere, and Wilno changed to match the community that they were going into. So if this highway banner was going up in Combermere, you could change those titles appropriately, and that's the way the highway signs have been done.
Okay, but we know this one's going up in Barry's Bay, so
Right.
I don't know. I don't think we need to change it. So
Yep.
are we in agreement? Do we want to, Sue, do you want a motion on this?
I think it's just, I can, it's just a staff direction, but if I'm hearing correctly, you're looking for banner design number 2 with a white background with the lettering from banner number 1.
Correct.
Correct.
I think it's the layout of the first one on that page with coloring of the second one. The layout would be identical to the first one on that
Of
page.
option 1,
And
of
just
banner 1, sorry.
not blue, make it white and change the coloring. Does that, I think we're in agreement about that? Okay. So, I mean, if you don't need a motion, if you just needed a direction, then let's go with that.
The only direction I need is, I'm not sure, would this be coming out, which budget this would be coming out of? Is this under our economic development budget? Do you know, Amanda? I think we had talked about it before, but I'm not sure that it was specifically budgeted for.
I thought that we had put money into the budget. Stephanie, into economic development, did we not put a highway banner?
There is a banner line, yep.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly it was this amount of money, but yeah.
It might not be quite enough. I think it was 750.
Yeah,
have
something's telling me it was under 1,000.
Yeah.
We have 750 in the highway banner expense line.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
also have money in the new initiatives
Yep, it could cover.
that could probably cover it, you know.
Okay, thank you. I think with that information, we're okay to just go with the direction to staff.
Okay. I think there's still money in the economic development reserve too. So there's a number of places it could be taken from. Okay. Let's keep motoring on here because we do have people waiting on us. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to bylaws. Our first bylaw is bylaw 2020-27 regarding the water system budget and water system rates for 2020. The recommendation is that bylaw 2020-27, being a bylaw to adopt the 2020 water system budget and establish the water system rates effective January 1st, 2020, be given third and final reading this 21st day of April 2020. Could I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Is there any discussion on this bylaw? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Our next bylaw is bylaw 2020-28 regarding the wastewater system budget and wastewater system rates for 2020. The recommendation is that the bylaw 2020-28, being a bylaw to adopt the 2019 wastewater system budget and establish wastewater system rates effective January 1st, 2020, be given third and final reading this 20th day of April 2020. Could I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. Is there any discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Just a sec, I gotta make I've got everybody small. Oh, that's better. Okay, and our final bylaw is bylaw 2020-41 regarding the shoreline road allowance closure and disposition along the Madawaska River in front of lots 2, 3, and 4, concession 8, subject to an easement in favor of Ontario Power Generation Incorporated, designated as Part 1 on reference plan, excuse me, 49R-19546, geographic township of Radcliffe. Oh, goodness. Practicing my COVID stuff here. County of Renfrew, COM-2017-06. The recommendation is that bylaw 2020-41, being a bylaw to provide for the closing and stopping up of part of an original allowance for road along the shore of the Madawaska River in front of lots 2, 3, and 4, concession 8, geographic township of Radcliffe, now in the township of Madawaska Valley in the county of Renfrew, and for the sale thereof to the abutting landowner be given first and second reading this 21st day of April 2020. Could I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Is there any discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay. Oops, I have to go to the next page. So next we have unfinished business and we have a COVID-19 update from the CAO clerk and the CEMC. I'm going to turn it over to you, Sue. And I'm going to cough.
I just wanted to provide council with this same kind of just departmental update. I will forward you an email. We just completed it this morning. I will ask the deputy clerk attach an addendum as well. It's basically just the similar report we did at the last meeting. Some departmental changes were asked to be reported on. One of them, I'll ask the operations manager to speak to. Council had asked that after Easter, we possibly bring back and have a look at some of our, the waste at the landfill site, maybe if our volumes have increased or if we're having any issues to report on. So the operations manager included a chart that you'll see. So I'm not sure, Hillary, if you wanted to speak to that. I'll let you maybe speak to your report. I think you're muted, Hillary.
I noticed, Sue, in my report, it cut off the Commer transfer station count.
Okay, you can just use the one that you forwarded then to report to it.
Yeah, so I conducted an exercise from 219 versus 220, January, February, and March. April, I couldn't do account visits that were midstream in April. So I didn't notice more car count in some instances, but I believe that gas is cheap. People want to go for a drive. And so Berwick Lake increased traffic vehicle count. And the garbage was pretty well the same from 219 to 220. Wellno had more vehicle count, a little bit more garbage. And Commer actually went down in garbage. I have that was missed, so I can, sorry about this. And 220, if you go January, February, March, 806, 768, 965. In 220. And then when I go to 219, it was a lot more in 219. So garbage went down in Commer, with the exception of February this year, more cars came. So there was no noticeable difference there in Commer. But everything, there's no like difference between 219 and 220. Maybe April now. Maybe for the next meeting, I'll conduct that analysis.
Okay, that would
Okay.
be good, Hillary, because I think there is going to be some change and it would be nice to know when it shifts.
Okay, we'll do that for the next meeting for the April month.
Okay, great. Sue.
Sorry, I just keep flicking the video off. I'm having an unstable connection. So if you can't hear me, you'll have to maybe wave. Another attachment to the report is a report from the bylaw enforcement officer. I don't think that Corey is joining us on this call. So he broke it down by the week. So in week 1, it shows that he visited 4 locations, and one of them was people that were in the outdoor rink in Barry's Bay. So there was a group of about between 8 and 10 that he spoke to, gave some verbal warnings and dispersed. And then there were, he issued 4 warnings at Crooked Slide Park of people that were gathered at Crooked Slide Park. And then he had quite a few complaints about social distancing at the local grocery stores. And he did visit the grocery stores. So he did list, and you'll see his notes, but one of the observations that he did make was that both grocery stores limit how many carts are available and have directional markers and markers showing safe distancing and have added protective glass for their workers. Lots of signage in both stores and outside of the stores with recommended practicing and wiping down of carts and counters. Families continue to not adhere to the signage outside that recommends only one per family at a time and observe families going in together. And he also observed individuals visiting in the parking lot by their cars, not practicing social distancing. But following his visit at the grocery stores, he was satisfied that the owners are doing the very best they can and are trying to put the message out, and their staff are being very vigilant as well. He attached to that report some of the frequently asked questions and answers that we've received from the province, one of them being our beaches to be ordered closed under the emergency order to close outdoor recreation areas. So the answers to that are there, as well as whether or not food trucks are allowed. And he has put some references regarding overnight and recreational campgrounds and what is permitted and what is not. He also has added the regulations of emergency order prohibit public gatherings and where and how it pertains to the grocery stores to show that they are doing what they can do at this time. He also has added a little bit of information as it pertains to why churches and places of worship, if they're allowed or not allowed to be open. So he's added that for the public to view as well as for council information. On his COVID week 2 report, he was called out to 2 locations, one on Stafford Street, as well as a campground complaint in Combermere area. So basically, he has provided them with the information that they require, and everyone is aware as to what they have to do to maintain and adhere to the provincial order. Other than that, every complaint that has been received has been forwarded either to the OPP, has been addressed, or has been forwarded to public health. Some of the calls that he's answering we're also forwarding to public health just so that they're aware that we've addressed the issue so that they're not duplicating their work as well. Many of the complaints, the phone calls that we've received specifically more prior to the Easter weekend was about seasonal residents not coming to the area, asking us to, with concerns they were not isolating, but coming only for a weekend. All the complaints received by the bylaw officer were forwarded when warranted to either the OPP or public health, depending on the complaint and depending on how it did not adhere to provincial orders. I did want to say that staff on our side continues to reference the provincial and federal messaging. There is no different municipal messaging that we can give other than adhere to the provincial and federal messaging. I did want to put a shout out and thank the cottage associations. We have various cottage associations that have been absolutely wonderful in communicating with their members, and they are sharing their messages between cottage associations as well. And I just wanted to say that staff appreciate the assistance, and I believe that the seasonal residents and the members of their association appreciate the information that they're bringing forward as well. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. So certainly staff is taking a lot of questions, and if we don't have a straightforward answer that we know from the federal and the provincial orders and directions, you're redirecting them to Renfrew County District Health Unit. And anyone who wants to or is thinking they're going to plan some sort of activity that they hope will be able to respect social distancing and still be able to happen, I would strongly urge them before they get too far into their planning stage of whatever it is, and it may have the world's best intentions ever, please contact the health unit and find out what it is that they're directing that you can and cannot do. So there may be something that someone can do, but they need to talk to the health unit. In the end, they're going to be the ones deciding what will be acceptable and can go forward. So you might as well work with them And if there's any people out there that want to organize groups to assist people with groceries, or they want to organize special takeout dinners or things like that, please talk to the health unit. Make sure it is something that is allowed, and they can probably give you good direction to make sure everyone stays safe and you can still have your activity. So I just want to strongly press that point for the public. Sue.
One more update that we told council, we try to keep you apprised when we know some of the implications of deferring the tax payments, the current tax payments. We did see a reduction of 18.5% for the March payments. Having said that, a lot of individuals had already paid their March installment prior to COVID and finding out the long-term impact of COVID. To date, the April current installment is at 68.5 reduction as to what we normally would see. Having said that, the majority of our payments are also received the last week of April. Many of them, their post-dated checks or their installments are scheduled to come out the day that it's due. But as of today, the deputy turned around the numbers and we're at 68.5. Lower for the April installment, and 18.5 was the reduction we saw for the March tax billing.
Okay, great. Well, not great, but thank you. That's good information. One other point for council to be aware of, we as a council have not closed our boat launches. They are open to the public. There are municipalities who have closed their boat launches. So this was something that was discussed at the Roma board meeting, because it is a bit challenging to have the province saying, go out and fish, fishing season is open. And just at the same time, get a message across that, yes, fishing is great, but please do it where you live. Please do it in the vicinity of your normal healthcare providers. So I know Roma is putting some messaging out there to that effect, just to try to help people to recognize you can go out and fish, but please stay near where you actually live. And if you're planning to go any further, to contact the municipality, because as I say, there are municipalities south of us that have closed their boat launches. I know this council hasn't done that. We recognize a lot of people who live here may want to launch a boat. So just be aware that may be an issue you'll be hearing about. Is there anything further, Sue?
Nope, that's all I have.
Does
Unless
council-
you have any questions.
Okay, does council have any questions for staff at this point about where we're at with COVID? Just hanging tough and staying home. Okay. All right, let's then move on to our in-camera session. I'm going to read the recommendation. The recommendation is that the meeting enter in-camera session to discuss matters pertaining to the security of the property of the municipality or local board, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, labor relations or employee negotiations, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose, a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group of persons, or organizations. Ontario Municipal Act 2001, Chapter 25, Section 239, 2A, B, D, F, and I. Number 1 is the regular council meeting minutes in camera of March 17th, 2020. Number 2, special council meeting minutes in camera of April 14th, 2020. And number 3, council update Great West Life employee benefits. Could I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. All those in favor? All those in favor, and that's carried. Great. So we are in camera now. Gwen, if you would turn off the live streaming, please.